We're going to talk about SDG 5. Personally, I believe that it's a precondition for us to be able to achieve all the other sustainable development goals. And that is why personally I'm very, deliberate and hands-on. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I do think the same, that SDG 5 is very pertinent. For example, as a young woman in leadership spaces, one thing I've come to realize is the fact that there is always a spotlighting of one woman, be it in economics. When they get just one person, it's like a blanket for all the other women. All the other women have achieved it. Yet in actual sense, it is one out of the so many. And so when we talk about SDG 5, I think it is very crucial. And looking at the themes we've been having on economic inclusion and job creation, it is important not to only spotlight one, but have many to be spotlighted so that it doesn't look something exclusive and unique to a certain group of women and not to the general rest of women. That's how I look at SDG 5.
First of all, goal 5, of course, is achieving gender equality for all girls and women. And I think you cannot talk about goal 5 without addressing gender-based violence. And I think today that's like a rising issue, not just in Uganda, but Africa as a whole. So I think, of course, inclusion and intentionality on everything like Belinda has said, but also addressing gender-based violence.
And understanding its forms, because when you look at GBV, it has so many forms, even those you may not notice, like someone DMing you something you're not interested on or bullying you on social media, all goes to gender-based violence.
There's a side event I attended while we're here at the conference, and they were speaking about how to economically empower women. It was unlocking the potential of women and youth. And for me, it sank a lot because it relates to how we can empower women so that they're able to move or speak about all these experiences they're encountering. Because there are very many women in Uganda, and we can attest to that, that are stuck in spaces where they're experiencing this kind of violence, but they can't move because they're not economically and financially empowered to be able to move away from those spaces. So for me, when she talked about gender-based violence, oh God, I related so much because I know of people that are stuck in marriages, situations, workplaces where they're not even able to thrive and they can't even speak up because they're not empowered.
But also in that line, there's something that has been coming up of unpaid care work. So many women are okay and at peace with sitting in their homes and families doing the unpaid care work. And at the end of the day, when tables turn, it now becomes a challenge because you're not financially empowered. Even your knowledge is lacking. The only knowledge you perhaps know is only that is that confined around your family and home. And I do think from the side event I actually also attended of UNDP, there's a need for women to push past that, but also how can the law come up to add something to this unpaid care work, because women do so much in the unpaid care work, never recognized, and at the end of it all, it goes unrecognized, unvalued, which is also creating an inequality to an extent.
I think as women, we've been raised to be nurturers. We've been raised to be caretakers, which we are, yes.
Productive roles of women, gender roles.
Yes, generally. But that should not sidetrack us from the fact that we also have something to offer to society, minus nurturing. We also have to grow ourselves economically. We also have careers to chase. And I think inclusion, especially giving such platforms to young women like us and having role models to look up to, being part of education systems that actually appreciate our gender as women and try to fit us into the inclusion of society, I think is a good standing point. And I think we are trying as a country. If I'm to look back at the statistics from years back, I see there's a lot of affirmative action going on. There's a lot of things that are coming up for women, green skills and everything, women empowerment. But like to say that, addressing the unpaid labor system, I think we just need to collectively maybe work different communities.
This whole conference, we've been discussing about the evidence-based solutions that we are bringing about to drive inclusion and sustainability. I don't know how we are going to address the issue of inclusive ideas that people bring together, but they instead keep women in cycles of poverty. For example, loans, and then by the time she's done paying back the loan, she's
Back to square one.
back to square one. Anyway, our time is fast spent, but the conversation was amazing.
One last highlight is I would like to talk about the great opportunity this forum has given us, especially young women, by highlighting and spotlighting the great women. We've been in an environment of great, great ladies, and seeing them here has never been more than an inspiration. Looking at ladies you've looked up to, you've seen on TV, you've seen on social media, spotlighted as great ladies. I think that is a great highlight for me, and I must say I leave this place a changed lady, ready not to only be at the base but to aim for the top. Thank you.